Today we're talking about refreshment, and in Mexico that usually means agua fresca. The direct translation of that would be fresh water, but it's like a soft drink, but a soft drink that is not made with carbonated water, but is made with fresh stuff. Okay, now there's a bunch of them that you will see in the street vendors' stalls in Mexico. There's almost always going to be a tamarind one. There will be this crimson colored one that is made from jamaica, which is the little calyx around hibiscus flower, and it turns the stuff bright red and gives it a really tangy flavor. There will usually be horchata, which is made from rice and cinnamon, sometimes with some dairy added, sometimes not, and then there will be limonada or a limeade, and they will usually have them in large glass barrels. You can take a drink of that if you want to, but I always recommend if you want something like that, don't get them from the street vendors. It's not necessarily the safest place that you could get it. Go to one of the juice bars, and they're just everywhere in Mexico. They will typically have those same aguas frescas, but then they'll have all the ones that are made from different kinds of tropical fruit. And those are absolutely spectacular. Guanabana and guava and pineapple and different kinds of melons. Watermelon, of course, is always a favorite. All of that variety sort of becomes liquid refreshment in Mexico. I would hope that it was at least as much as Coca-Cola or one of those kinds of beverages, though I know that those are making a lot of inroads and taking over some of that space that has always been taken by the aguas frescas, which are definitely much healthier for you. Now, there's an agua fresca that I love, and the cool thing about it is that it's unexpected, it's totally delicious, and it can form the base of another drink, which you probably see on every breakfast buffet in a hotel in Mexico, and it's called Jugo Verde, green juice. And I'm going to show you first how to make what is called the agua fresca de pepino, or a cucumber lime agua fresca, and then how to turn that into something that is richer and definitely more packed with vitamins and minerals. First, to the cucumber version of it. I've got a couple of cucumbers here that are, I would call medium cucumbers. Now, these are not the hothouse cucumbers that you see around a lot. You could use that. Then you're going to want to give a weight for these things because you need about 10 ounces of them. You can peel them or not, but in the mode of being healthy with this, I'm going to leave the skins on them. It also will give them a really beautiful color, or give the agua fresca a really beautiful color. Now I'm going to put all of that into a blender jar. And to the blender jar, we will add the lime. I've got some fresh squeezed lime juice here. I'm going to make this what I would call a gentle flavor, very refreshing over ice, but I'm not going to give it too much lime. Put that in there, and then some water. And lastly, before we do our blending, a big handful of mint is going to go in here. Then everything gets blended together until it's as smooth as I can make it. Right. Now this gets strained. I like to get out bits of the skin of that cucumber. It has really, really colored this beautifully. So I love the color of it. It just looks very refreshing and super healthy as well. But you notice we didn't put any sugar in here, and we will have to put some sugar in here to bring out that cucumber flavor and balance the lime. But you can add as much or as little as you like. For me, the perfect amount is 1/4 of a cup. And those of you that like to use agave syrup, you could certainly feel free to do that. Okay, so I got a little bit of sort of the pulp of the cucumber and certainly some of the skin of that. Okay, now I've got my 1/4 of a cup of sugar measured out already, so I'm going to stir that in and taste it and see if I think it's at the right level. This will be all very gentle. It won't be particularly sweet and it won't be particularly limey. You may want to add more sugar or more lime juice to suit your own taste. But I'll tell you what you will find with this that is even stronger than any of those other aguas frescas that we talked about, and that is that real refreshment. I find this to just be wonderfully satisfying. Now, doesn't that just look beautiful? Okay, let's rewind a little bit. I've got everything in the blender that I had in the blender for the cucumber lime agua. No sugar is in there at all. And to that, I'm going to add some cleaned pineapple chunks. That's going to add some natural sweetness to it. And then I've got a couple of cups of spinach. Those are kind of packed spinach. And I'm using that baby spinach that's so easily available in the United States now, since a lot of people like to use it for salads. And then here's the ringer, and this is an optional ingredient, but I will tell you that it's a really cool one to put in here because it gives a texture to it, but it also gives a lot of healthy properties. But in case you should get a nopal cactus paddle that is uncleaned, I just wanted to show you how you clean it because I know that they look pretty dangerous to everyone. You go all the way around the paddle, cutting off about 1/4 inch or so, and then get rid of that, and then holding your knife perpendicular, just knock off all the nodes. May have to do this pretty carefully, and you'll do it on both sides. Okay, clean up my workspace there, and our cleaned nopal I will cut into smaller pieces, and then scoop that into the blender with everything else. Really, you could put all kinds of green vegetables in here, but these are the really standard ones. And then we're going to blend until we get it as smooth as we can get it. That's a full blender. You'll obviously, if you don't have a cup this big, you'll be doing this in batches or make a half a batch of it. Again, I'm going to want to strain it because I want to get any last bit of pulp or any of the skins from the cucumber that didn't get fully blended. This one smells so different because of the pineapple and the nopal. It's just obviously much more jam-packed with all kinds of good things for you. This one gets really foamy when you blend it. That has a lot to do with the nopal. So I need to taste it. And it seems flat to me, even though we've added the sweetness of pineapple into this. For me, the perfect amount for this whole batch is about 3 tablespoons of sugar. Again, you could use honey, you could use agave syrup if those appeal to you more. And I am going to taste it and see if I got it to where I want it to be. All the flavors just came out. The cucumber came out, the pineapple came out, just that little bit of seasoning in this really did help. I'm gonna pour a glass full of this one. You can see it's darker green, more foamy, and more dense in all of the ingredients that are there. I hope you have fun with these. Salud.